Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to solve linear systems by substitution. If you've completed the previous videos of linear function and also the linear systems intro video, then today's lesson will be a lot easier for you. So today we'll solve linear systems algebraically by substitution. And so example 1, let's dive right in. Solve the linear systems by substitution. And just a comment here, if your teacher does not specify how they want you to solve the system, you can solve it however you want. Graphing, elimination, or substitution, no problem. But if it's asked that you have to do it by substitution, well then you got to do it by substitution. So here's our system. And the idea is to use one of the equations to isolate a variable. So here from equation 2, we're going to say y equals 2x minus 2x plus 4. We're going to take this equation and plug it into the first equation, right? We're doing a substitution. So x minus y, this y is going to be replaced with this value right here. And so you see here, x minus y, like this, equals -1. And then now we distribute our negatives. So we get 2x minus 4. And so now the goal is to simply isolate for x. So we have 3x equals 3, which gives x equals 1. And so now that we have our x equals 1 value, we can plug it into, say, equation 2. And so we have y equals -2 times 1 plus 4, which gives 2, like that. And so the solution to the system is 1, 2, like that. And we can always check our answer when we're solving linear systems, because we know that if it is a solution then to the system, then it has to be the solution to each equation. And so that's what we're going to check now. So we have x minus y, so x minus y equals -1, which is what we're supposed to get if it is a solution. So that's good. So it works for equation 1. And then now we're going to try for equation 2 here. 2 times x, which is 1, plus y, which is 2, gives 4, which is supposed to be 4 if it is a solution. So that's excellent. So we just verified that 1, 2 is a solution to the system. So I'm going to do lots of examples, and then you guys will be able to practice after. So B, here's our system right here. We notice that from equation 2, it's a lot easier to isolate y. So y equals -x plus 1. We're taking this and plugging it into equation 1. So x minus y, this y here is being replaced by -x plus 1, like that, equals -5. And so we distribute the negatives, so plus x minus 1, like that. We get 2x equals -4, which makes x equal -2, like that. And then we can take this x equals -2, and we're going to plug it into this equation right here, and we get 3. So the solution is -2, 3. And we're going to check it right now. If we plug it into equation 1, we have -2 minus 3, which gives -5, so we're good. And then plug in -2 plus 3, which gives 1, which is what we're supposed to get if it is a solution. So that's excellent. So this is the solution to the system. Okay, C. Here we notice that it's easier to isolate x from equation 1, so that's what we're going to do. X equals y plus 3. And then we're plugging this x into our second equation, so it's 2 times this now. Instead of 2 times x, it's 2 times y plus 3, like that. That's our substitution. Multiply 2y plus 6, like that. Isolate for y, we get y equals 0. And now we're going to plug y into 0 into our first equation. We get x equals 3. And so the solution to the system is 3, 0. And I'll leave it for you as homework or an exercise to check that this is a solution to the system from here on out. Okay, D. So we have equation 1, equation 2. From equation 1, y equals 2x plus minus 1. We're going to plug that into equation 2. And this brings us to be 0 equals -3, like that, right? 2x minus 2x is 0. We can go -1 to both sides, so we have 0 equals -3, which is false. Therefore, there's no solution to this system. E. Here's our system. We can isolate x really easily, so we're going to do that. We're going to plug it into equation 2, so it's 2 times this, like that, plus 4y equals 4 as such. We get 0 equals 0, which is true, so therefore there are infinite number of solutions, meaning they are the same line. And you can see by inspection, it's just times 2 everywhere, like that. But because it's asked to solve this by substitution, we had to do this algebra. F. So from equation 1, we can get y equals 3x. Plug that into equation 2, we get x equals 1. And if we plug that back into here, we get y equals 3. So our solution is 1, 3. G. From equation 2, it's a lot easier to isolate y, so that's what we're going to do. Y equals negative 2x minus 4. Plug that into equation 1, so 2x minus 3 times this, like that, equals 4. Distribute our negative 3, so it becomes positive 6x, positive 12, like that. Isolate for x, we get x equals negative 1. Plug that into our equation here, and we get y equals negative 2. So the solution to the system is negative 1, negative 2. H. So here we notice y is already isolated like that, so we're going to take that, plug it into equation 1, and then we get x equals negative 3. Plug that into equation 2, because that's the simplest, and we get y equals 2. So the solution to the system is negative 3, 2. Okay, I. So here's our system. We are going to isolate x, so we get 2x equals negative 3y plus 1. Divide by 2 on both sides, so we get negative 3 over 2y plus a half. We are going to plug this into equation 2, so 3x becomes 3 times this, like that, plus 4y equals 1. So distributing the 3, so negative 9 over 2, distributing the 3 over 2, like that. We're going to multiply the entire equation by 2 to get rid of the fractions, so we get negative 9y plus 3 plus 8y equals 2, like that. Isolate for y, right? Minus 9y plus 8y gives negative 1y, and so we get y equals 1 as such. Plug that into equation 1 here, and we get x equals negative 1. So the solution to the system is negative 1, 1, like that. So I did lots of examples. Now it's time for you guys to do some practice. It's really important. And so go ahead and pause the video and solve these linear systems by substitution. Okay, so I'll correct them with you. So for equation 1, isolate x. X equals y plus 1. Plug that into equation 2, we get y equals 1. Plug that in here, we get x equals 2. So solution is 2, 1, like that. B, here's our system. We can isolate y easily from equation 1, so we get negative 2x plus 10. Plug that into equation 2, so 3y becomes 3 times this as such. Isolate for x, we get x equals 6. Plug that into our equation here, and we get y equals negative 2. So the solution to the system is 6, negative 2. C. Here's our system. We can see by inspection that it's the same line because we're going times 2 everywhere, but because they asked us for substitution, we have to do it by substitution. So equation 1, isolate x as such, plug in to the second equation, so it's 2 times x, 2 times this, like that, and then we isolate for y, and we end up getting 0 equals 0, which is true. So therefore, there are infinite number of solutions. They are the same line. Yep. Okay, D. So we're going to go with equation 1. Isolate for x, so 3x equals negative 4y plus 7. Divide by 3 on both sides. And so we have our x equals negative 4 over 3y plus 7 over 3. We are going to plug this x into equation 2. And so we have 3 times x plus 4y equals 10. distribute our 3 as such, and so we get 0 equals 3 in the end, which is false. So therefore, there's no solution to this system. E. So here from equation 2, we're going to isolate y, so we get negative 3 over 2x plus 3. Plug that into equation 1, and so we get negative 3x plus 6 equals 7x minus 14, like that. Isolate for x, we get x equals 2. Plug that into our first equation here, and we get y equals 0. So the solution to this system is 2, 0. F. Here's our system. We're going to isolate x from equation 2, so we get y minus 7 over 2. We're going to plug that into equation 1, so 2 times this, like that, plus 5y equals 7. Distribute our 2, and then isolate for y, so y equals 2, like that. We're going to plug that into our equation here, so 2 minus 7 over 2, which gives negative 3 over 2 as our x value. So negative 3 over 2, comma 2 is the solution to this system. Okay, G. So we can get from equation 1 easily, x equals 2y plus 7, like that. Now we're going to plug that into equation 2, so 3 times 2y plus 7 plus 2y equals 1, like that. We isolate for y, and we get negative 5 over 2. We're going to plug that into our equation here, and so we get x equals 2. And so the solution to this system is 2, negative 5 over 2. Okay, H. Equation 1, y equals negative 5x plus 2. Plug that into equation 2, and we end up getting 0 equals 2, which is false. And so there's no solution to this system. And that's it. It's that easy. I'll see you guys in the next video.